Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to start with the 10th standard chemistry and physics. Unit number 8, chemical bonding. Series number 5 is going to be discussed. In the earlier session, we are going through how the chemical bond formations are possible and what are the kind of forces operating in between the chemical bonding, and also various kind of perceptions regarding chemical bond formation. Lewis dot structure, Lewis Koschel electronic valency theory, all are discussed in detail. And in addition to that, unit number 1 to 7, detailed explanation regarding the entire units, including physics and chemistry, all are available on the channel called World of Competitive Chemistry. In this series number 5, we are going to discuss in detail about how the ionic bond formation is possible. So extensive study about ionic bond and its corresponding what examples. So all those are going to be discussed in today's session. Let us start with the series number 5 of chemical bonding. Here, ionic and covalent bond formation is the concept today going to be deliberated. In this, here first we are going to discuss about ionic bond formation. Kossel is the scientist. In accordance with the Kossel scientific perception, ionic bond, which is also known as electrostatic bond, based on the following facts. In order to get the ionic bond, these are the regulations which are to be followed in accordance with the Kossel scientist. Fact number 1. Ionic bond is formed between the atoms of two dissimilar elements due to the transfer of electrons from one element to another element. How the ionic bond will be generated? Because of transfer of electrons. One is releasing electrons while second is seeking electrons, so that corresponding cation and anion will be originated. This is the simplest fundamental for the formation of ionic bond. And when we consider fact number 2, for the formation of ionic bond, there are highly reactive metals like alkali metals and highly reactive non-metals like halogens are present in the left hand side and the right hand side of the periodic table respectively. If we observe the periodic table, entire periodic table is the combination of metals, non-metals, transition metals, inner transition metals, metalloids, monoatomic, so many kind of variety of elements are available. But in specific, we are regarding first group elements which are hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. These are extremely metallic in nature and the property of electropositivity. And move on to p block elements, and they are considering halogens, right? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine, very near to the noble gas with a short of one electron, so that they have a tendency to acquire the electron, so electronegativity in nature. And extreme left, you can see alkali metals are present. Extreme right hand side, after these noble gases, we have this halogen family in this periodic table. That is the second factor. And move on to third one, noble gases except helium have 8 electrons in their valency shell of atoms, and they are chemically inactive, and moreover greater stability will be imparted. Here the table represent all the noble gases, and helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon are the elements whichever present. Helium is constituted with the 2 atomic number, that is called denoted with Z. Neon with 10, argon with 18, krypton 36, xenon 54 and radon 86. These are the variations in the atomic numbers. And move on to atomic masses, their corresponding atomic masses which imparted by number of protons plus number of neutrons. And the most important thing is why these inert gases are more stable and highly inert towards the chemical reactivity, because of their outer shell is completely filled with the electrons, 2s2 2p6, 3s2 3p6, 4s2 4p6, 5s2 5p6, 6s2 6p6. This is the general trend which we can clearly observe in the inert gases, which also known as noble gases. Move on to fact number 4. To attain the 8 electrons in the outermost shell, similar to the noble gases, One or two, three electrons in the valency shell generally lost by metals and become electropositive. The generation of electropositive elements are regarded as cations. If you go with sodium, being it is alkali metal and excess of one electron with respect to nearby noble gas, so that it have strong tendency to lose the electron and correspondingly any positive will be generated. I'm considering magnesium, that is alkaline earth metal, and the central metal is having excess of two electrons than the nearby neon configuration. That's why it readily releases two electrons and turned into a dipositive, which is shorter in size when compared to the neutral one. And this will be very stable because of it attained a noble gas octet configuration. So here metals having tendency to lose the electron, and this is the property called electropositivity, and the ions generated are regarded as a cations. Move on to cation generation for aluminium. Aluminium is excess of 3 electrons in its valency shell with 3s2 3p1 outermost configuration. In order to get an ion, these 3 electrons should be discarded, and aluminium tripositive will be originated with a shrinking in the size, and noble gas configuration got achieved so that it will become more stable. So that is clearly represented in these 3 examples. Sodium with atomic number 11 with electronic configuration of 2, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. This is the general electronic configuration. After losing one of the electron, because it is the member of first group element and alkali metal family. So loss of one electron, subsequently neon configuration got achieved, so that became more stable. In the similar manner, move on to magnesium, where 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 is the general electronic configuration with atomic number 12. So that loss of two electrons and subsequently turned into a neon configuration became a stable one. And aluminium, it is the member of 13th group in the modern periodic table, atomic number 13, and electrons are 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. One of the differentiating electron which present in the p orbital, hence you can say it is a p block element, and more 3 electrons are there in order to get the electronic configuration of noble gas, so that loss of 3 electrons and subsequently neon configuration got achieved. Na positive, magnesium dipositive, aluminum tripositive, all are regarded as cations. Positively charged species with the loss of electrons are called cations, which are generated because they have tendency to lose the electrons in order to get the stability. Move on to another topic called the fact do you know electron distribution in case of alkali metal family and as well as alkaline earth metals. Number of electrons lost from the metal in the valency electron will be the its group number. For example, alkali metal group elements all are acquired with the one electron in its outermost shell. Hence, we can say these are regarded as a first group elements. First group elements all are having how many valency electrons? Only one valency electron with the lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium. Each element is constituted with one outermost electron, so that group number is also similar. Move on to alkaline earth metal family. So second group elements, all these. And if you observe outermost shell 2s2, 3s2, 4s2, 5s2, 6s2, and 7s2, assigned for beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, and radium, so that their valency will be exactly equals to its group number. That is the another fact we have to understand for few elements in the periodic table. And move on to how the electron distribution got carried in the p block elements where the electron seeking is there. So till now we discussed about how the loss of electrons and the cation generation is possible. Now we are going to discuss about the fact number 5 where anion formation is feasible. To attain the 8 electrons in the outermost shell, non-metals have 5, 6, 7 valency electrons will acquire 3, 2, 1 electrons respectively and turned into an octet. So the negatively charged ion generated is denoted as anion. A simplest example is nitrogen. Nitrogen being it is the member of 15th group element, outermost electronic configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. In order to reach 2p6, how many electrons still more required? 3 electrons. That's the reason why nitrogen having tendency to seek the electrons from the external source, and by gaining 3 electrons, it turned into N-3. N-3, now it became a stable neon configuration, 1:2 2p6. So here, if you observe the radius 2, here compared to neutral nitrogen, nitrogen -3 will be the larger in nature, because as the electrons added, the expansion in the size is possible, and ions are larger when compared to their neutral atoms. In the similar manner, move on to 16th group element called oxygen family. So this oxygen family is also known as chalcogen family, right? Electronic configuration will be 1:2 and more 2 electrons are required in order to acquire neon configuration. That's the reason why 2 electrons got by oxygen and turned into O-2. This is denoted as oxide. Oxygen is the neutral one, oxide is the O-2, where 1:2 electronic configuration will be retained so that it will become more stable. So in this manner, they are turned into a negatively charged ions, which are denoted as anions. And here is another example called fluorine, whose electronic configuration is 1:2 By gaining one of the electrons, subsequently turned into a fluoride ion. F- is regarded as fluoride ion. F- with 1:2 with the one negative charge. What does negative charge implies? More electrons than the proton count. That is denoted as a negative charge. Here is the simple description for all these, and we got the examples like phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. In addition to all these, phosphorus with atomic number 15, whose electron distribution will be 1:2 3 3p3. Outermost shell short of 3 electrons, so that 3 more electrons will be acquired by phosphorus, being it is a nitrogen family member, and 15th group element it is, and this will be the stable gas configuration by gaining 3 electrons. And move on to sulfur. It is the member of oxygen family. Atomic number will be 16. 1:2 3:3p4. More 2 electrons are required to gain noble gas configuration. Hence, it will seek 2 electrons from the external source and turned into a nearby noble gas by S-2 called sulfide. P- they called phosphide. And the chlorine with atomic number 17, it is the group 17th element, and short of 1 electron, because 1:2 2p6 3:3p5 is the outermost shell configuration, more 1 electron to attain the noble gas configuration octet. That's the reason why it has strong tendency to gain 1 electron. Chlorine turned into a chloride. In this manner, the negative charge generated on the element by the gain of electron are regarded as anions. This is the condition for ionic bond formation. Some of the atoms, especially metals, having tendency to lose the electrons and reach the nearby electronic configuration of noble gases. And contrarily, non-metals are seeking electrons and become negatively charged ions and regarded as anions. Then only they are used to attain the noble gas configuration. Now, how the formation of ionic bond formation is possible? I'm taking simplistic sample table salt called sodium chloride. Natrium with one of the valency electron. This is a Lewis dot structure, which is very clear to indicate how the transfer of electrons and how the electrostatic or ionic bond formation is possible among two different elements. Na dot now treated with the chlorine with a short of 1 electron, so that electron completely shifted from sodium to chlorine, so that sodium is acquiring positive and chlorine is acquiring negative. So because of loss of electron shrinking in the size for sodium and an enlargement in the size for chlorine will be observed. That is represented in the pictorial form. Sodium with the electrons 1:2, 2:2, 2p6 and 3s1. Outermost shell with only 1 electron is there. How it is shifting, you can clearly observe. Here it is electron present in the sodium outermost shell, now transferred to chlorine and it turned into a chloride. In this manner, chlorine with a short of 1 electron, because outermost shell 3s2 3p5 electronic configuration, accepting 1 electron from sodium in this manner. and it turned into a Cl minus. Chloride ion formation is possible, and this is a kind of ionic bond formation. Positive ions denoted as cations and the negative ions denoted as anions are formed due to the transfer of electron from one metal to another non-metal. And they are bound together by electrostatic forces, and this bond is regarded as the ionic bond because by the transfer of electrons, one is turned into a cation, another turned into an anion. Hence, you can say this is a kind of ionic bond formation. Now, in continuation to how the ionic bond formation, we have another alternative name for an ionic bond that is also denoted as electrovalent bond. Why it is denoted electrovalent bond means because two individual anion and cation are bound together by electrostatic forces. Hence, another alternative name electrovalent bond is also regarded. It denotes what? Electrostatic force holds oppositely charged ions in a bounded manner that is regarded as the ionic bond formation. Now, formation of ionic bond which are held together by electrostatic forces of attractions which are indicated in the sodium chloride formation. We are going to define exact what is ionic bond. The electrostatic forces which keeps the cation and anion which are formed from the metal and non-metal due to the transfer of electrons are held together to form a new electrically neutral compound called ionic bond, right? So here sodium and chlorine, by the loss and gain of electrons respectively, they are used to form such a kind of electrostatic forces, and that kind of bond formation is denoted as ionic bond formation. And by this, we completed this how the bond formation is possible. In the next session, we are going to discuss the simplest examples with the relevance of this ionic bond formation. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you, one and all.